you are almost adult. So we will probably work on fairy tales, because I think everybody knows some fairy tales, and we'll talk about it, how it is written and what can we do about this, okay? So what kind of fairy tales do you know?
I know fables.
Mm-hmm.
And stories, like normal stories.
Yeah, okay, but do you know any fairy tales, like, you know, about some, I don't want to tell you too much, but for example, Hansel and Gretel? These kind of fairy tales, okay?
What did you learn Red Riding Hood?
Okay, so let's talk about some fairy tales. Which one do we know? For example, Cinderella, do we know this kind of story?
Yeah, of course we know.
Of course, everybody knows that. Okay, let's find another fairy tale.
These are famous fairy tales.
Pamuk Prenses.
Okay, what else? What about this girl in the red hood? Do you remember?
Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, we know.
Red
Riding Hood. Yes.
Okay.
And Frog King.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sorry, not Frog King.
Sleeping Beauty, exactly. Okay, so I would like to talk with you about Cinderella today and Red Riding Hood. Okay? Everybody knows the fairy tale?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know that.
Ali, story?
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, yeah, there is another story, but we'll talk about these two stories, okay? So let's start with Cinderella. We will be talking about some elements of the story, and then we will try to create our own story, our own screenplay. Okay. So what do we know about Cinderella? Who is she? Let's start with that. Maybe Ezgi will start.
Of course, she's a girl, and she have a not short or not long hairs with blonde hairs. She has blonde hairs too. I guess she has blue eyes or green eyes, can be both of them. And she is always wearing blue dresses, and that's what I all know about her physical things.
So we are talking about this Disney Cinderella, right?
Yeah, Disney Cinderella.
Can you imagine Cinderella in different color of the hair and different clothes?
Sure.
Yeah, I can see. She's a different character and happy, and I think the hot colors will be her colors.
Yeah, and Loya, how do you imagine Cinderella? If you would create this Cinderella, how would she like? How would she look like?
It's good and it's pretty. It's very good.
Okay, and what do we know about her parents? Who knows anything about her parents? Does she have mother and father? Ali, do you remember that?
Yes, teacher.
She lives with her stepsisters and stepmom. She's very beautiful.
Yeah, okay, so let's stop here. So we can say that she is half orphan, right? Because her mom is dead. We don't know what happened exactly, but we know that she has a father, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right.
So that's what we know about her in the beginning of the story. And then let's switch to Red Riding Hood, okay? So let's talk about her. How does she look like? Who is she? Maybe Ali will tell something.
Teacher, I think brown hair.
Okay, what is very specific for her? Why is she called Red Riding Hood? Do you remember that?
Because she wearing red clothes.
Yes, exactly. And this is a hood that she got from her mom, right? Or her grandmother. Okay, yes. What do we know about her parents? Do we know anything? Anybody remember something?
Teacher, she has a mother and grandmother.
Yes, we don't know anything about her father. but we know for sure that there is mom and there is a grandmother, right? So probably maybe she, the same as Cinderella, is maybe half orphan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do we know about the grandmother? Where does she live? Is it far? Is it near?
Did you far?
Yeah, probably quite far.
One forest.
I think
Yes.
in a forest.
Yes, she's living forest and she is ill.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very old.
Okay, so we know who this is, our main character, and then we have to think about the reality in which she lives. So when does it happen? Where does it happen? Do we know that, for example, you know, it's maybe Cinderella is in, I don't know, Italy, like 100 years ago. Do we know that, or do we just suppose how it is?
We just know about what happens in the story.
Yes. So we can say that both of these stories are set in this fairy tale world, right? Because it's not a very specific place, it's not a very specific time. So actually every story, do you remember how the fairy tale usually starts in English? In which words?
Once upon a time there was a little girl.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Once upon a time. So we can say that once upon a time there was a girl called Cinderella, or once upon a time there was a girl called Red Riding Hood, and this all takes place in a fantasy world or in fairy tale world, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we know all of that. So the next thing, writing a story, we have to know what is the goal of the main character. So what does it mean? It means that our main character that we are looking at or listening about has to have a goal. She has to want something to do. Okay, so let's think about this. Okay, just in the beginning of the story, we know that Cinderella has a father. In the beginning, we don't know anything about the stepmother or the new sisters. We just know that she has a father. So let's think about what does she want to do in the beginning? What is her goal? It must be connected with the father, right? Because he is the main second character. So does she, for example, does she want to escape from home? Or does she want to stay with her father? Or does she want to help his father? What does she want, Cinderella, in the beginning?
Teacher, I couldn't say not normal because I actually don't know about it, but I can guess. I guess she wants to escape from her home, or it can be she wants a mom. She wants a real mom that she loves her.
Okay, so let's stay in here and let's think about it, because you see, the father loved her mother very much, and Cinderella probably didn't even know the real mother, right?
Yeah.
So right now she knows that father is probably unhappy because he has nothing to live with, only his daughter. So maybe, what do you think in the beginning when he gets to know with this new woman and her daughters? How does Cinderella behave? Is she happy or not in the beginning?
She's happy.
Can be happy.
She wants them to be happy.
Okay, let's stop here. Ali, what do you think about that?
I think she is happy, teacher.
Okay, and Ezgi, what do you think about this?
I thought she can be happy before because she thought there will be mom in her beginning, and after that when they make her sad, she can be sad.
Yeah, so everything changes, but right now in the beginning, we can say that she likes her new mother. She wants her father to be happy. So we can say that her main goal is is to make her father happy. Okay, so is it a good goal for a girl?
No.
Why?
I guess.
Because she has some. I think she has some passion about something, and don't go after that passion.
Yes, Gugja.
I want to guess something about this. About her is that she's a new woman. Then Cinderella is first. She's a little bit worried because it's not her real mom. So that first maybe she's sad, but he's get used to her new mom. Then I think she's happy, and I think there's a both of the feelings. That's all about my thing. I don't remember the Cinderella story very well, but I can guess some of these questions.
Okay, Ece, what do you think about this?
I think want to live in a happy family is very normal and a good goal.
Yeah, I think so, because what we know about the Cinderella during this whole story, we know that she has a pure heart and she wants people to be happy. Yes, she is not an evil character. So let's think about that. Her goal in the beginning of the story, when we are getting know her, let's say that she simply wants her father to be happy. So she is happy when he meets a new woman and marries her, and she probably is happy that she will have new sisters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch to Red Riding Hood, and let's talk about what is her goal in the beginning. What do we know about her? Do you know something about that? Maybe Ece, yes. What do you think?
She loves her grandma very much, so her mother says, and Red Riding Hood wants to bring food for her grandma.
Yes, but this will happen a little bit later, okay? Just in the beginning, when we don't know anything about his grandmother, we are thinking about what can we say about Red Riding Hood, okay? So probably, you see, she doesn't have sisters. She has only mom. They live somewhere in the woods, probably. So there is not a lot to do in this place, okay?
Yeah.
So what would be her goal in this situation? Let's think about it. Ulash, something?
Like play herself in the woods.
Yeah, probably she's looking for fun because maybe she feels a little lonely. She doesn't really want to listen to her mother, right? We know that from the next part of the fairy tale that she's a little bit naughty, right? She doesn't want to listen to her. Okay, so now we know who is our character, when or where she lives, and what is her goal just in the beginning of the story. Okay, so that's the first part we have to know. And then let's think about this. Is it interesting right now, the story? It gets a little bit boring, right? Because if nothing happens, then Cinderella will be happy with the sisters.
Yes.
Red Riding Hood will be just looking for fun, that's all, okay? So we have to use something that we call turning point or breakthrough, okay? This turning point means that something happens in life of our character that changes everything. For example, this may be a kind of prize. For example, she can win a lottery, right? And she is very rich now, so she can change her life. Or something horrible happens. And this happens, of course, in these two stories. This is a bad thing that happens. And this changes the life of our characters, and this character have to find a new way. So let's talk about this event that changes everything. Let's start with Cinderella. What horrible or very nice happens in life of our Cinderella that changes everything?
First of all, but changes everything. In Cinderella's story, her mom, her natural mom, her mom and her sisters makes her sad and doing everything with her. For example, they are saying go and she's go. They are saying come and she's come and like that's something. And once the changes her life, it is she is how can I say this? I don't know, but there is something they are coming and it says there's a party and Prince will choose some princess for him and she's going and Prince love her and that changes everything.
Okay, so let's try to shorten this thing. What really happens, a very short event that changes everything.
There was a party.
No, the party is very far away. The party is, you know, first something, because you see, we are in this part of the story when Cinderella tries to make her father happy. So she is really happy because he marries this woman and she has new sisters. And then something tragic happens. Do you remember what that was?
His father dies, I think.
Yes. Ulash told that. Is it Ulash with szy na końcu or Ulas?
Normally with Ash, and I changed it.
Yeah, so it's Ulash. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ulash, you are right, because this tragic event that changes everything is the death of her father, right? She loses her father. And what changes in her life then? Gökçe?
First, I agree with my friends. Then I'm add something. I add something in Ezgi's sentence. For example, she say her sisters and her mom say, "Come, go." Then she's home. She's in maid. Then
exactly.
Then his father is died. They're unhappy and
let's stop here. Okay, you are right, Gökçe. So the tragic event, this turning point or this breakthrough is the situation when her father dies and her stepmother and sisters are treating her like a servant, right?
Yes.
She's no longer sister and she is treated like a servant.
She's like maid.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she had to, you know, peel the potatoes and so on, so on. We'll talk about it later. Let's switch to Red Riding Hood. So let's try to find this event that happens that changes everything. What happens there? Ece?
Her grandmother was ill.
Yes, exactly. Her grandma is ill. So maybe Loya will tell us what happens.
And she's go to the grandmother some eat for food.
Yes, she has to go to her grandma's house through the woods and bring her some medicine, food, and so on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, yeah, Ali?
Teacher, I think she go to cookies or flowers of the tea.
Yes, but this will happen in a minute.
Big bad wolf wants to eat the girl and eat the food and the breakfast or lunch.
Okay. She has some things in the basket and she's supposed to bring it to her grandma, right? Okay, so let's stop here. And you see, we told that this event changed our character because this target, this goal that this character was supposed to achieve changes, okay? So for now, we knew that Cinderella wanted her father to be happy and she wanted to help him in being happy. And how this event changes Cinderella. Let's think about it. What does she want to do in her life? What does she think? Ali?
Teacher, one day the king organized a ball for his son.
No, wait. It will happen in a couple of days or months. Let's stop here when she is treated badly by her sisters and stepmom. Okay.
Teacher,
For example, just let's stop here. Okay. For example, Cinderella could think, okay, I will escape from home. Or she can decide that, okay, I will call the police and will say that they have to take my stepmom and sisters to jail, for example, okay? What does she decide to do? Is she arguing with them?
No, she's not arguing.
No, she's doing it.
She's not arguing.
She's always saying, "Pace, okay, I can do this."
Yes, she was doing everything they want.
And she doesn't complain about what she is doing and what she isn't doing.
But
exactly.
If she's gone,
and let's now think about why this happens, okay? Because she's this kind of person with, good heart, and she wants to help people, okay? And probably we can think that she decided to, against all odds, she decides to remain herself, okay? For example, okay? So she decides, okay, I am treated very badly, but I am a nice person. I want to help people. So I will just be myself, the person with good heart, okay? And this is the main goal because look at this. In the next events that will come, she always behaves like that. She just wants to show that she is a good-hearted person. Okay, she never argues, she never fights for things. So let's say this.
Teacher, I think the girl, despite her misery, got on fine with everything, but she couldn't say anything to her father, who was also afraid of the stepmother, I think.
Yeah, probably. There are different versions of this story. So one version is that the father died and then everything changed, or that the father saw all these things, but he didn't react for that. Let's say he died and then all the bad things started. Good job?
Yeah.
Yes. I agree, Ali. Her stepmother, she wants to make her dad happy, but she's a stepmom and her sisters are so brutal about this. So they're so solid her because she's used only doing some things, for example, clean house, make food, make the lunch, so that they're brutal very much, I guess.
Yes, yeah, you are right. So just to sum up all the things we said, the new goal of Cinderella is to remain herself, a good-hearted person, okay? Let's say that's the goal for her. And now let's skip to Red Riding Hood. We know who she is. We know that her goal was to have some fun, not listening to her mom, right? And now she's alone. She got the basket and she goes through the woods. So let's think about what is the new goal for Red Riding Hood. How do you think? Is she obedient? She's going right through grandmother's house, or it's totally opposite?
It's totally opposite.
Yeah, so of course.
Because what happens?
Yes.
She went to forest and she got the rabbit forest.
Yeah, Ezgi?
She thought mom says wrong, and she thought there's a flowers in there, and she think I can take them and go to the grandparents with flowers. That will be better. She think, I guess, and she go to the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Ece, something to add?
Yeah. She was spending too much time in the forest. She was having fun.
Yes, exactly. So let's sum it up. if we can say what is the goal of Red Riding Hood, maybe, what do you think when I will say that, for example, her goal is to take advantage of her freedom and use this journey for fun? Okay, she just wants to take advantage. She is alone. Mom doesn't look at her. She can do whatever she thinks. So yes, this is a nice goal for her.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we have this second goal for our characters. And now everything starts, okay? This big part of the story starts. So if you look at Disney's movie, for example, do you like Disney's movies?
Some
everybody
of them,
likes,
yeah.
of course.
I love them.
Everybody likes them. And when you look at these movies, there is always this structure, okay? So at first, it starts with some event. We know we are getting to know this main character. We know where and when it happens. We know which is the main first goal of our character. Then something happens, this turning point we were talking about earlier, okay? And then after this turning point, we have this big part of the movie, which is like the half of the movie, in which our character has this second goal and tries to achieve it. So for now, we know that in this big part of this story, Cinderella wants against all odds remain herself, be a person with a good heart, and Red Riding Hood wants to have some fun and take advantage of her freedom, okay? That's what we know, and we are starting the second part of the screenplay. So we have to, let's say, I don't know how to say it exactly, but to make our character uncomfortable, okay, we have to put some obstacles, some complications in this in her way, because it's not easy to achieve this goal, okay? What is the difference? Because when we say about obstacles, these are people, events, or some things that happen, and these things make her put some more effort to achieve this goal. Okay. For example, we are talking about this in the future. Cinderella, for example, wants to go to the ball, and these sisters give her some work to do, and so she cannot be ready on time. This is obstacle. Just a second. And the complication is a little bit different, because complication, it is another turning point. So something really big happens that changes everything and changes the goal of the character. It's not very important for us for now, but let's speak about these obstacles which our characters meet on their way. So let's start with Cinderella. We are in this moment of the story when her mother and sisters start to treat her like a servant. So maybe, who is there? Gökçe, do you remember what happened in Cinderella after this event that, you know, what happened in this home when there was only Cinderella, sisters, and stepmom? What started to happen?
I remember there go a party, then her grandmother come and Cinderella starts to cry because she can't go to the party. Then her grandmother come and do some magical things.
Yes, just wait a little bit, because let's stop here to say about some things that happen in the meantime, okay? So, of course, the sisters are forcing her to clean, to mop, to peel potatoes, and so on, right?
Give some jobs her, then she need to do that jobs.
Exactly.
Sorry, she do this jobs.
So look at this. Is this changing a little bit, or is it a kind of, how to say that? In other words, look, she wants to be a good-hearted person, but there is obstacle because her sister treats her like a servant. So it's not easy to achieve this goal, right? It's not easy because I am angry that makes me to do that. Okay, so these are obstacles. Okay, it's not easy to get there. So yes, Gülce?
If I'm like Cinderella, I have a family like Cinderella. I'm thinking I don't want to live with this family because they give a lot of jobs. I think I'm one of them. The sisters. I need to same. Wait, I'm look. I need same rights with my other sisters.
Exactly.
So I'm angry for this, but how can Cinderella is calm? That's hard thing. For example, if my brother do something, I want to do it like right, because if we have not rights, I'm angry for this because
exactly.
we are same years, we have same family, so that we need to same rights about this.
Exactly. So now let's switch for the Red Riding Hood. Okay, let's talk about the obstacles on her way. So we know that her goal right now is to have some fun. Okay, so when she goes into the forest, the main obstacle probably for her is that she kind of hears the voice of her mother all the time, right? Because when she goes off the path to see some flowers, for example, she can, let's say, hear the voice of her mother. You can't do it. You have to go to your grandma, right? Ezgi?
Yeah. Absolutely. That Red Hood is poster. She couldn't go there, and she couldn't do. She couldn't do it, and she couldn't go opposite. She can told my mom didn't do it, and she must know this, and she must go to the normal way.
Yes, exactly. So the obstacles for Red Riding Hood are for this one, that she has to listen to her mother. Okay, she remembers what she said, that she has to go just right the path to her grandma, and she wants to visit the forest maybe and see many different interesting things. Okay, let's go back to Cinderella, because this is the second part of our scenario, and let's see what happens there that changes somehow a situation. We were talking about this. We are talking about grandmother, but it actually in some versions were sorry. First stop, the party happens, right? So who remembers what happened about the party? Good job. What kind of party that was?
First, Cinderella's grandmother helped her to go party.
But again, just wait a little bit, because before this grandmother or godmother comes, there must be something that she knows about the party. Ulash? So
yes, sir, I don't remember about this. I don't remember.
Like the posters of the party came there, and from the mailbox, they came from the mailbox, and as the servant of the family, like.
Okay, and what was the party for? Because it wasn't just the ball, right?
It was a bachelor party.
Yeah, Prince wants to marry someone, and he thought he can find some girl in the party.
Yes.
Ece, what do you remember about the party? What was it about?
I think, to find a bride.
Yes, exactly. So there was let's say a mail or some information that there will be a big ball, and the prince wants to find a new bride for himself. Okay, so a girlfriend or bride. Okay, so there is a chance for Cinderella, but where is the obstacle? Another obstacle. She wants to go to the ball, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
Her sister
so
and
Ulash,
her
sisters. Just a minute, Ulash. Let's say about the sisters. Why are they an obstacle?
because they see Cinderella as good looking than they themselves, and they won't leave Cinderella alone and let her go to the party.
Okay, so what do they do, Ezgi? Do you remember what they do to avoid this situation that she goes to the party?
Yeah, of course I would. I remember it. Teachers, how can it be? But that's a story can be. So there is a. How can I say this? There is someone in. She say it to her and that I will give you a dress. I will give you some.
Yes, but let's wait before the fairy comes
Can
to
I ask
Cinderella.
something?
What do Ece, maybe you remember, what did the sisters do?
They behaved like she wasn't invited to the ball.
Exactly. And what about the dress? Because she prepared the dress for herself, but something happened with the dress. Who remembers? Ali? You don't remember? Maybe Gökçe remembers.
I think but dressed badly and filthy because of the ash. She couldn't go anywhere.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So the sisters destroyed the dress, right? Loya, do you remember that?
Yes,
Yes. So there is another obstacle, right? So Cinderella still wants to, be herself. She wants to be nice, but they are destroying the dress. Okay. And now we have this moment everybody is waiting for. So when she's without the dress, what happens?
Fairy.
Yeah, there is a fairy.
Yeah, there is a fairy.
Yeah, there is a fairy. She comes and helps her. So she creates the dress, she creates the carriage.
And
yes.
The fairy
and what
says,
does she say? What is important in this story?
Yeah.
Good.
If you don't come home at 12 o'clock, the dress will be vanished from you.
Exactly. Exactly. So we know that, all these things happen. So it took a lot of time to get to this part of the story. She had to find a lot of obstacles. Now there is a chance that her life will change. Okay, so let's go back to Red Riding Hood. We know that she is in the woods. She's trying to have fun, but she remembers, right? Her mother, what she told. So let's talk about what else happens, because to Cinderella there is a fairy who comes to help her. Who is Red Riding Hood meeting in the woods?
The bad wolf.
Yeah, exactly, bad wolf. So what happens? Who remembers what happens with the story? Ece?
Red Riding Hood scares and drops her basket.
Mm-hmm.
But
does the wolf swallow her or eat her?
No, the wolf helped her to take the baskets.
Yes, and why does he help her? Maybe Ulash remembers.
Because he's hungry and want to take the turkey in the basket, or
he wants to eat.
Yes, but you see, he could eat her right now, but he decides not to do that right now because of what?
I have an idea.
Yes, what is the idea?
The wolf wanted to seem a good wolf to the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't eat the Red Riding Hood. She took him to grandmother.
Well, actually, she told him where the grandmother lives. Okay, so he doesn't eat her because he thinks like that. I will go to grandma's home and I will eat grandma and and the Red Riding Hood. So two people at the same time, right?
Yes.
So that's his motivation. But let's think about Red Riding Hood, because her mother must have told her that she cannot speak to strangers, right?
Right.
And because she does it, so now she's really in trouble, okay? Okay, so we know what happened till this time, and there must be in our screenplay another turning point. So another event that changes everything, also the goal of our main character. So let's start with, of course, Cinderella. Okay, what is this? Just a second. So the hero must decide after this event what they really care about in life. Okay, and the audience that is looking to this movie or reading this story, the audience is supposed to be really rooting for the character. Okay, so let's start with Cinderella. We know that she has to go back before this midnight, but what happens in this moment? Who remembers? What is this event that changes everything?
She met with the prince.
Prince.
Yeah, she met.
SG, again?
Yeah, she met with Prince and Prince love her.
Prince.
Yes, she meets the prince and she knows that he's in love with her, probably at the first sight, right? And then she's also in love with him at the first sight, but she has to run away because he will know who she really is, right?
I think that Cinderella is take attention because of her dress.
Yes, and of course, because she's very adorable person, okay? It's not only about the dress.
The prince is see her, then it's gone.
Teacher, she also so beautiful.
Yes, she's also beautiful and she's a very kind person. That's probably why he's in love with her, because the rest of the ladies at the ball, they're just waiting to marry him because of his maybe position, maybe money, not because he's a nice person, okay? So that's the event that changes everything, that she's in love with the prince and that the prince is in love with her, okay? And let's go back to Red Riding Hood, okay? Where is this event that changes everything? That's easy.
Can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say?
Yes, of course.
The man come and help the grandmother.
No, it happens later. Why does he have to help her? Ali, do you remember?
She went to her grandmother's house.
Yes, and what happens there?
Can I?
No, good, Jay, yes.
The wolf and grandmother changed. The wolf is grandmother. Then Red Hood is come. She's come. Then she say, "I bring you some cookie." Or something like that. I remember like that. Then the wolf is open his mouth. Then his grandma. Then there's wait. Then
so
the hunter is
swallowed. He swallowed, right? Grandmother and Red Riding Hood.
Then hunters come and kill the wolf. Then they say,
just wait, not too fast, not too fast.
That's going to
Let's stop here, okay? So we have these important events that happen in the life of our characters. So for Cinderella, this is this new love. And for Red Riding Hood, there is this tragedy that she was swallowed by wolf, okay? Together with grandmother. Okay, so I told you when we were talking about this first turning point that it changes the goal of the character, okay? For now, she wanted something else, and now when this happened, she wants something else, okay? So let's think about these new goals of our characters. So let's start with Cinderella, okay? What is this goal of Cinderella? What does she want right now? Who has an idea? Ece?
To be at home as soon as possible.
Okay, Ulaş?
Yeah, to be at home as soon as possible because it's close to 12 o'clock, so she runs home.
Yeah,
Okay.
she ran away.
Yes, but let's think about it. Maybe Cinderella realized that life can be very different from like it is right now, okay? And maybe she wants just experience happiness at last, okay? Maybe she realized there are good people. There is a nice and handsome prince out there waiting for her, and she's sitting there trying to just be herself. So maybe the new goal for Cinderella is to just experience happiness. Is it okay? What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Red Riding Hood and let's try to think about her new goal. So what would be her new goal? Because she is in Wolf's stomach right now.
To get out
Ece?
of there.
Yes, Ulaş, continue.
To get out and to get out of there and save his grandma.
Yes, to rescue her grandmother and to go back to the normal life, right? Okay, so we have these goals for our characters after this second turning point. And then we are almost in the end of the movie. We have like 20 minutes left. So then there is this moment in our story that has to be very tense. Okay, I mean that in this moment the audience has to wait. Will the hero succeed or fail? Okay, will she or he be a will he have a victory, or everything just collapses? Okay, so this moment in a screenplay, when there is the highest tension level for this for the audience, is called culmination. Okay, in Polish it's kulminacja. In English it's culmination, let's say that. Okay, so our stories must slowly move towards the end, so the audience must feel this tension. Will they succeed or fail? Okay, so let's think about this very intense moments in our stories. Let's start with Cinderella. What happens? Which part of the story is this one with the highest tension, when we really wait? She must be successful in here. It cannot finish like that. So which part of Cinderella is about it?
Can I say?
Yeah.
When the prince comes to their house and tries the shoe on Cinderella.
Yes, and where is this another complication? Because it's not easy, because she is not sitting there waiting. Okay, that's my.
Can I take
what
it?
happens? Mm-hmm.
Prince come home and say, "Can we try this for I want my lover?" And they all stepsisters, they all try them, and it couldn't because it was so small. And Cinderella looks in front of the door and says, nothing says anything, and Prince says, can she try them on too? But stepsister and stepmother, no, she can't be. She's not like that. She didn't go party also. And but princess, she must do it. She should try it on. And after that, she come here and prince try them her, and it make her perfectly, and it will be the end.
Okay,
Yay.
So this moment when we are waiting, will she succeed? Do you remember that the sisters they have hidden her. So she was closed in another room and she couldn't get to the prince, right?
Yes.
So this is this moment when we don't know, will she be free? Will they know that, will he know that she's here? And when he gets to know that she is here, we know that the nice thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to Red Riding Hood and let's find this moment in this scenario. Who remembers when there is this most tense moment in the story?
Can you try again? Can you repeat it, please?
Sorry?
Hunters find them.
Can you repeat it? Can you repeat it?
We are looking for the moment in the Red Riding Hood story when the tension is the highest. So when we don't even know, will she succeed or no? We know that her goal is to get out of Wolf's belly and have a nice life with grandma and her mother, right?
Yeah.
Ezgi?
Yes.
Hunter found stuff. Yeah. Hunter. Here there is some someone says something like help me or like that something, and Hunter go home there and look after that what's going on here. He thought like that, and when he comes home there's a wolf in there, and Hunter always wants to catch that wolf, and when he finds it, he kill or make a bad, I guess, wolf, and he killed that wolf, and finally the grandmother and the daughter can go out.
Yes, Gökçe?
Yes.
First, the Red Hood is want to get out her grandma, but then the hunter is hear the voice. Then he starts running the grandma's house because the voices come there.
Yes.
And when he's opened the door, he is see there's wolf and the girl. Then he has killed the wolf and they save grandmother.
Yes. So they just got out of his belly. Just something else?
Yes, when Red Riding Hood realized that the talking was the wolf, not the grandma, she cried, "Wolf, wolf, help!" So the hunter came.
Okay, so the moment that we still don't know if the hunter will help them, this is the culmination, right? Because we don't really know if she succeeds or not. So we can say that the next thing that happens after this culmination is resolution. Resolution means that the situation ends. So for Cinderella, this is the moment when the slipper is perfectly fit for her feet. For Red Riding Hood, this is the moment when they go out of this wolf's belly, right?
Yes.
Okay,
right.
So we have only one thing left in our scenario or screenplay, and this is conclusion. Conclusion means that we know what happened after that. So for Cinderella, what happened after this fitting the Ezgi?
Like always in our book, it says, like always in our book, it says, and happily ends.
Yes, exactly.
They lived happily ever after.
I think first
they all live happily ever after. That's a very good answer. Because
Cinderella's sister says always accepted. Then I guess Cinderella is accepted. It's like that. I remember.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Always.
So so we can say that this story started with once upon a time, all these two stories, and it finished with, and they all lived happily ever after, right?
Yes, I like
Okay.
with a happily ends.
Yes. Okay. So now when we know these stories, we have to think about what is it really about? Okay. So what do I, listening to this story or watching it in TV or somewhere else, what do I have to understand out of that? Okay. What is this thought that we have to go out after this story?
I have
For
an
example,
idea. Can I say?
let's start with Cinderella. What is this thought? Ezgi, do you have an idea? What do we understand after this story?
That's not normal. Yani, exactly that's I can't say anything like that must be, but I have a just idea. I guess after that there can be Prince and Cinderella go to the place and they live there, and the stepsister and stepmother, because they are so bad. Stepmother and stepsister goes to Cinderella and please, can we live with you? We are so sorry.
Yeah, but let's leave this part because we don't really know. There are different versions. What happened with the mother? Let's think about what do I, an audience, after this story, what do I have to think about? Ece, do you have an idea?
Yes, I learned from Cinderella. If we think positive, be good, things will be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I think try to listen to me. Do you think it's okay when we say that after this story, we think that if we stay true to ourselves, despite other people's humiliation, we will find our happiness, okay? So there is a way to be happy that when we stay true to ourselves. Do you think that's the main thought of the story? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, Ulash, and what do you think about Red Riding Hood? What is the main thing, thought that we know after a story?
I think in the Red Riding Hood, we need to listen that who has experience, and we need to stay and behave like we have rules.
Okay, yeah, I think the same. So probably we can also say that if you don't listen to your parents or more experienced people and you are not careful, something terrible may happen to you.
Teacher,
right?
can I say?
Yeah, who's talking? Ali?
Ali talked.
Teacher, I think the main theme of the story is to listen to what your parents tell you and not to talk to strangers.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now let's sum up the things and the parts of the story that we know that have to be here, okay? You can write it down, but you don't have to. When we start, so...
Teacher, can I say something to Cinderella?
Sorry?
Teacher, also, can I say also start?
Yeah, of course.
Teacher, I think always be kind to not matter what, and we brave and we dreaming.
Yes. Okay. So let's sum up. The first thing in the first part of scenario are we have to know.
Don't let setbacks stop you. And
yeah,
never
exactly. Okay, let's stop here because we have to sum up, right?
Even yourself.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Let's stop here and let's sum up. So first thing in the first part of scenario that we have to know are, do you remember what it is? Who is the main character, right?
Yeah.
Then second thing, we have to know the reality in which she or he lives. Okay, so is it a fairy tale world? Is it like in the past? Is it maybe in the future? Maybe in another planet? Maybe under the water? And so on, so on, so on. We have to know that where it takes place. And the third thing that we have to know is the goal, the first goal. Let me remind you that when we are talking about first goals of our characters, for Cinderella, the goal was to make her father happy. For Red Riding Hood, the main goal, the first goal, was to have some fun because she feels a little bit lonely, okay? Then there is the second part of the scenario. We can say this is the second act. And the second act is when it starts when this main event, the big event that we called first turning point happens. And this is something wonderful or something horrible that changes everything in our character's life, okay? For Cinderella, it was the death of her father, and when the mother started to treat her like a servant. And for Red Riding Hood, it was her grandmother's illness that made Red Riding Hood's mother give her the basket and send her to her grandfather. After that, our main character has to have another goal. So she wants now something else. For Cinderella, it was that she decided to be herself and just, behave properly. Yeah. For Red Riding Hood, it was opposite. So she didn't want to behave properly. She wanted to have fun and make some really fun things. Okay?
Yes.
There are also in this second act, these obstacles. So events that make our characters a goal hard to achieve. Right? All of these events that make that this happens a little bit, it's not easy to get to this goal. And it all leads to the third part of the scenario, which starts with this second turning point. The second turning point is this another very important event that changes everything. Let me remind you, for Cinderella, this is this new love, that the prince is in love with Cinderella and she's in love with him. For Red Riding Hood, it is when the wolf swallows the girl and her grandmother. And of course, in each of these parts, our character has to have this goal. So the third goal and the last goal for these stories are for Cinderella, that she wants to make herself happy. She thinks that she deserves for the happiness. For Red Riding Hood, she wants to make everything go back to normality. So she wants to get out of this wolf pen. Then we have in this third act, culmination. So the moment in which the tension is very high, okay? And we don't know if our character achieved the goal or not. And then we have resolution, so we know how it finished, and conclusion, so we know what happens after that. So they live happily ever after.
Yes.
Okay, so are you ready to start our own stories?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you, but if it's possible, you will need something to read, to write, because I would like each of you to create your own story, and then we will read it, okay? Okay, so if you don't have something to write, then just get it. Okay. Everybody has got something?
I will open the Word program.
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Is there our own stories? We write the stories?
Yes, everybody writes your own story, okay? I will tell you what is it about. I will ask you a question, and it is very important that you will read. Sorry, I was concentrating. And I will try to write it very short, okay? So just a couple of words, not very long sentences.
Will you give us the team?
I will tell you everything part by part, okay? So
Okay.
just try to think about it very fast and write it down. So we are starting with our main character. So your task for now is to think who is your character, just who it is. It may be a dog, it may be a girl, it may be an alien, anything you want, okay? Write it down. Think about it. You can think about the name. In our story, we told that, you know, Cinderella is a half orphan. Her mother died and she is left only with her dad. You can think about anything else. Write it down, and when you are ready.
About Cinderella's story, we write?
No, you think about your own character, okay? And remember, it may be an animal, it may be, I don't know, maybe a tooth, or maybe son, or maybe your mom or your grandpa. I don't really care. It's your story. Does everybody have your own character?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so we can continue. The next thing, we write about realities in which your character lives. So we have to write down that this is happening right now in Turkey, or in the future on planet Mars, or in the past in medieval castle, for example, anything you want. Where and when this character lives. Try not to write too long things, just very simple ones.
I'm writing like the.
I'm writing about some with girl and her normal life.
Yes.
Normal life.
We just want to know when and where this character lives. Is it in the future, in the past? Is it happening right now?
Okay.
Right? Everybody's got it? Olash, ready?
Yeah, ready.
Gökçe? Yeah? Okay. It doesn't have to be very complicated, just the simple things. For example, she lives in Istanbul right now, or she lived 1,000 years ago in the desert, for example. Okay, when we are ready, let's think about this goal of the character, okay? So what does our character wants to achieve in the beginning? It may be simple. It may be like she wants to be happy with her family. It doesn't have to be anything very complicated.
Teacher,
yes, Ali?
Story?
Yes, Ali?
Teacher, can I say my story?
We'll read it in the end, okay? So right now, write it down and then we will read it. Okay, what is the goal? For example, I will remind you that Cinderella wanted her father to be happy, and Red Riding Hood wanted to find some fun because she felt lonely. But you can write anything you want and make it simple, make it very short sentence, okay? So she or he wants to bam, bam, bam. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready, but mine is long, so how can I read? That's something.
This is all what you write right now? This whole page?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Oh my God, you have to shorten it. It must be very simple. No, it will take like 4.
Look at this.
Okay. Okay. When we are ready and we know who is our character, when and where she lives, and what is her goal, then we have to think about this turning point. So let me remind you, this is the event that is very happy or very tragic, that changes the life of our character. Okay? Do we all understand? You see, it can be, for example, the meteorite is going towards the Earth and it will destroy the Earth, for example. Or it can be like she's moving out to Hawaii, for example. Or he is becoming a famous actor, for example. It's not really important. Try to find your own event.
Teacher, but also I'm reading so fastly, so it can be finished like 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, try to think about one thing because we don't want this story to be too long, okay? One important event. In Cinderella, this was the death of her father. In Red Riding Hood, it was her grandmother's illness. That's very simple and that's it. Don't write too long, okay? Because we'll just get lost our path. Does everybody have your turning point? Yes? Okay, Gugja, you are ready?
It is a very funny story.
No, I'm gone. I'm going to write. How can I say, middle of it, I'm middle of it. I'm gonna write now.
Okay, so try to write it down. It must be very simple. Just think about something happy or something unhappy and just write it down. Don't think too much in advance.
Teacher, when we will read?
Sorry?
When we will read?
Tell me again.
When we will read our story.
In the end.
Sure.
In the end, because we have to write down all these parts we are talking about before, and then we will read it, okay?
Okay.
So, we know who is our character, what was his goal in the beginning. We know now what happened in his or her life, okay? So, we have to think about the second goal. I mean that this event changed everything in this character life and now she or he wants something else. Let me remind you, in Cinderella, it was that she wanted to remain herself and be good for everyone. For Red Riding Hood, it was that she wanted to take advantage of her freedom. She wanted to use this journey to have fun. Okay, so different goals. What is the goal of your character after this event? What does she or he want right now? Very short, please.
Can we write ourselves in the story?
Of course.
Like in my story, I'm a big director.
Mm-hmm.
Boys want to be like I'm the idol of the boy.
Yeah, okay, that's right. It will be interesting, I see.
For
okay.
example, in my story, there is a beach consultant and she's doing some faults and like that's something.
Okay, let's wait with our stories to the end. Now, are you ready with the second goal? Gugja, you are ready? Gugja? She's lost.
Story.
Oh, Gugja, you are with us? She doesn't. Okay, let's go to the next part. So, we know right now what is the goal of our character after that event, okay? Let's try to find one thing that is an obstacle, okay? So she tries to achieve this goal, but she meets someone or something happens that makes it very hard to achieve. Let me remind you, in Cinderella, there were sisters that interrupted her to go to the ball, okay? In Red Riding Hood, it was, for example, the sound of her mother's speech about how to behave on her path. So let's say the conscience of Red Riding Hood. One thing, it can be an event, it can be a person that he meets, it can be a letter that he gets, it can be a traffic, she or he stays in the traffic and doesn't know how to get to another city, for example. Just one thing, very simple.
It's just a one sentence, right? For everything you said.
Ezgi, you finished the whole story?
Yeah, I finished.
That's horrible because we have a lot of things that you have to know. You have to try. But okay, let's say if you have all the parts, that's okay. Does everybody have an obstacle or complication?
Yep.
Ulash is ready. Ece? Okay.
I have a complication and a good thing that happens to the character.
Okay, so we are in this part of the story when we know that our character wanted to do something and there was an obstacle, and then there is this second turning point. So again, the important event that changes everything again. Let me remind you, for Cinderella, this was this moment when she was in love and the prince was in love with her. For Red Riding Hood, it was this moment when the wolf swallows Granny and the girl. Okay, so it can be something wonderful or something really horrible again. That's your decision, okay? Just think about this event that will change everything again. Remember to write it in a very short way, okay? It must be very short and simple.
Okay.
Ali, do you have it?
All right.
Okay. Ece is writing. Ulash is ready. Gökçe, you are ready?
I'm going to write.
Yeah, okay. So don't take your time. Don't worry. Okay, Ece is ready. So we are almost in the end. Now there is a very, very hard part of the scenario. So this culmination. So the moment.
Okay, I finished too. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, so remember, the culmination is this moment when something happens and we don't know if our character will succeed or not. Now you have to decide that probably in a minute when we will be talking about resolution, there will be a happy end or the sad end, let's say, okay? But don't decide right now how it ends, just what happens that the tension is very high. For example, in the movies, these are these moments when the guy who is in love with a girl follows her and he tries to stop her and she's going to leave the country in an airplane and they are in the airport and he tries to find her, okay? Or in James Bond movies, for example, these are this moment when there is a duel between this bad guy and James Bond and they are fighting on the roof and we don't know how this fight will end, okay? All these very intense moments. It's a tricky part of the screenplay, but don't worry. Just think when we will be waiting really intensely, waiting for what will happen next.
Teacher, can I read? Teacher, can I read my story?
No, because we didn't finish it. There is almost, we are almost in the end, okay? So there is this last part of the story, the last part. So now we have to know how it ended, okay? So the resolution, is he happy? Is she married? Is the alien, has he gone back to his life? Okay, how this finishes, how it ends. Is it a happy end or not?
Okay.
Okay, Edge is still finishing. Ezgi?
Yeah, I wrote.
Okay, do you have all these parts? So you can say, okay, the goal for the second part is, and so on?
Yeah, sure. I have all these parts.
Great. Okay, Edge is ready, Ulash is ready. Gugja, you are writing or you are ready?
I'm ready.
Yay, nice. Ali, you are here with us? Okay, he's gone for a minute. Okay, so now is the time when we will read our stories, okay? Everybody's excited. Okay,
Yeah.
let's start with Eja. She will read the story. Okay, let's listen to it.
Okay. Tinta the octopus lives in the sea at the planet Kara. He wants to see and travel the earth. His parents did not let him do it. They said, "No, you can't leave us. It's dangerous outside." He decided to leave the home and took a spaceship journey to the Earth. But the spaceship was broken and fell on the Mars. This planet had no water. What would happen to him? Ta-da! Some Martians just came and rescued him. They took him to the planet Kara again. His parents hugged him and promised him to take him to the Earth one day. The end.
Ta-da! Okay, applause for Eja. It's a great story. This is a science fiction story, right?
Can I say? Can I
Okay,
read?
yes, Ezgi, you are the next one.
Okay.
Ali, you have to be patient, you will be next.
Teacher, I will be right about, I'm speaking to diary. Hello, diary. Today is my first time in the beach and I am a beach controller. I can say I love this job, but I must do that job because I need money. Because before summer coming, all things are good, but after sunshine, people start to come and all things are done. Everyone shouting, playing, and little children joking at me. That little children make me so angry, and I shout at them. They go in a few minutes and come back with their moms. They tell me the boss, and my boss said me, if we do it again, you will go home. Oh, so nervous. Okay, let's finish that. And listen to me. Do you know what happened to me today? Some adults are checked my head. It was so hard, and when they come near me, I wanted to yell them, but I couldn't, so I just say, why you guys don't play calmly? And they said me, sorry for it, and they got. I was so angry. Few minutes later, they come back with ice cream, and they gave it to me, and I felt better. He smiled me, and I smelled it. So it ends happily. See you tomorrow, 2021. Yeah,
That's the end?
Yeah, that's the end.
Yay, applause for you. Great, Ezgi. It's a very nice story. Ali, it's your time. I know you were waiting for that.
Year 3045 and
so
time.
It's in the future, right?
Yes, it's in the future.
Okay.
Parrot Galaxy. Years after John drought, human beings had married to the planets in the first place. From these planets where they would no longer live. Tony Carib Galaxy, right next to Milky Way Galaxy, was one of millions of galaxies in the universe. It was very close, the Milky Way Galaxy, ever since the speed of light, humans could easily travel between galaxies. Teacher, my story is so long, but okay. People ruined cities like geysers. After they began to live new discoveries and inventions had taken them off different planets, even galaxies. The largest group of the people had settled in the Tony Carib Galaxy. Leo and Scorpius have been close friends for many years. Leo was 6,000 years tall, broad-shouldered, with a big face and turquoise eyes. His power and its creativity were known throughout the galaxy. He had a glow that looked like a lion claw, and when he got angry, his voice could make the entire galaxy tremble. He lived on the planet Ares. His robots wouldn't have gone anywhere without Spectra. Scorpius was short but strong. Scorpius was short but strong. He had brown eyes and brunette hair. He was wearing a spiky belt. Soon the 500 it will celebrate his age, and 900 years had passed from the Earth to galaxy with his family. He lived on the planet Tani. His favorite robot, Herosa, was his greatest helper. Leo and Scorpius have been very close since the day were born. Even if they fought often, they loved each other very much. They find the tree of knowledge and learn the secrets. Find the Atölyesi machine. Change the tiradents of the star and save the galaxy from danger. To do this, they need to find the tree of knowledge and learn the secrets. They find the tree of knowledge and learn the secrets. So wherever we are, no matter where, nothing is impossible. We live in happiness in the universe we want, in the galaxy we want. For our journey with our dream ship, our endless feels hope and love enough. Bye, Ali Buraber. It's finished teaching.
Yeah, applause for you, Ali. But tell us the truth. When did you write this story? I don't think it was right now. Am I right?
Yeah.
Teacher,
Yeah.
I wrote English lesson.
Yeah, okay. This is a very good story, but you have to look at this again. If there are all these parts we are talking about, okay? You don't have to do it right now, but when we will finish, just think about it. Do we have all these goals, the main character, this place?
Yes.
Yeah, you will do it?
And teacher, it's a long story.
Yeah, that's why I told all of you to write it simple, okay? Because the next part, when we have this, let's say the skeleton of the story, then we'll read all, well, not today, of course, but then we can write all the rest of the story, okay? We have to start with this simple plot. Okay, so who's next? Ulash?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's listen to your story.
Okay. George is a boy, but he can shoot a ball with his eye. He lives in a castle on Mars, and he wants to be a director like his idol Ulaş Köreken. But his father wants he to be a writer like himself. But his mother supports his passion, and her mother dies from cancer. Because his mother died, he wants to meet Ulaş. And Ulaş comes to Mars with an accident, and he meets Ulaş when he's hurt, and he uses the car that Ulaş comes to the Mars to fly to Earth, and when he is going to Earth, he gets lost in the sky, and he dies because there isn't any oxygen. Then,
yeah, applause. Okay, thank you for the story. I see that all of you like science fiction very much, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, there's Gökçe.
Okay. Island and me. Hello, my name is Lisa. I'm normal children. My life is boring until tomorrow. Again, all things are same. Then I look backyard. Then I see an alien. I'm get shocked. I'm shocked. But there is nothing at backyard when I say my mom. Then I'm start to think that's really happened. Then I'm go to the backyard, but I can't see alien. I see only a spaceship. I am getting spaceship. I see lots of buttons, screens, and one alien. Alien is sleeping. I don't want to wake up her, because if she's wake up, I'm scared. The island has 4 arms, 1 eyes, blonde purple hair, and glasses. Then I'm start to look in spaceship more detail. Then I see big red button. I want to print it, but I'm scared. But then I am print. Then spaceship is fly. We go space with the island. Then we see some meteors. Then it's hurt the spaceship. Then there's no enough oxygen, so Lisa is died.
Oh my God.
Mine is a little bit different story. It's I'm with a sad thing.
Yeah, okay. You know, it's your screenplay. Is there anybody else with us? No, they left. Okay. Now there is one more task for all of you. Okay.
Okay.
It is about that I would really like you to write just in one sentence. What do I, as the audience, in other words, what is this thought I am having after reading or watching your performance? Okay, you remember we were talking about that. So after, for example, from Cinderella, we know that if you stay true to yourself, you will find your happiness, right? For the Red Riding Hood, we are talking that if you don't listen to your parents, something terrible may happen to you, okay? So now try to think about what is your story, okay? What do I understand from this story? Just one simple sentence. Go. Yes, Ece?
I'm ready. Be careful while you're taking...
Okay, just wait. Let everybody else finish their sentence, okay? And then we will talk about it.
Okay.
Gökçe, do you have a question?
No, I want to say my sentence.
Okay, so just wait for it for a while. Let everybody else finish it.
Teacher, can I say my last sentence?
Yeah.
Teacher, my last sentence is for our journey with our dream ship, our endless false hope and love are enough.
Yeah, okay, very nice sentence. Ulaş, do you have your sentence?
Always ask someone when you are using or getting involved or with something.
Can I?
Yeah, okay, that's a very nice sentence. Ece?
Okay, be careful while you're taking risks. They can be dangerous sometimes.
Yes, very good. Gökçe?
Thank you.
If you see a big red button, don't print it ever. Never, sorry,
Okay,
never.
very metaphorically. Yeah, okay. Okay. Ezgi?
Do not always be angry.
Yeah, okay. So, what do we have to understand when we are writing the screenplay? We have to know what is it about? What do we really want to say through this, okay? This is important because if we want to create a screenplay or a story which is worthy and we want people to understand that, we have to know what do we really want to say. Okay, now is the time for the questions. If you have some questions for me, I will try to answer that. Do you have some questions?
You said you were an director to theaters.
Yes.
What games did you direct?
Well, actually, all of them were in Poland, but there were different kinds because I directed some plays for adults, some musicals. I also worked in opera. Yeah, so very different, but also for children, for kids, and a lot of very different things. But the last performance I did, it was in December last year. It was, let's say, fairy tale from some Polish folk legends with Polish folk songs. Yeah, and it was it was written for children with autism. You know this autism? This is a kind of disability. So we are trying to prepare a performance for kids that, you know, see the world differently. So that was the main task.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Ece?
I would like to thank to you for this lovely workshop.
Oh, I'm really happy that I met you. Thank you very much as well. Do anybody else have some questions? Want to ask for something else? If not, there is a time to wish you that you will write very good screenplays. I hope that you will like it. Try to write these very short versions, and then you will see after some time that Ali?
Teacher, do you have any suggestions for us?
Do I have what?
Suggestions.
Suggestions? Well, actually, I think that you will that you have to try to write this story with all these little parts that I told you about, because when you do it, you will understand how, for example, Disney's movies are written. When you will look at any Disney movie, for example, Frozen, you will find all these parts in there, all these turning points. And you know, in American cinema, they are very strict about it. So for example, you will see the first turning point in between 15 and 20 minutes of the movie, and the second turning point like 20 minutes before the end. And it always happens the same. So I hope that it's not only for you to write stories, but to understand stories as well and analyze it during watching the movie. This is very, you know, I'm using it when I, for example, direct performances, because when I work with actors, for example, I can tell them the story of their character, and they really get to know better with their characters. So my suggestion is to really try to write these short versions of the screenplays, then put it back for like 2 weeks or a month, and then get back to it, and you will see if you still like it, or maybe you want to change anything. You know, you don't have to write the stories instantly. You always have time to wait, to look at this. You are a little bit older, you are a little bit wiser or more experienced, and you can see that your stories are changing with your age, let's say.
Okay.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, thank you very much for the workshop. I wish you a good luck, and I hope we'll see one day in Turkey maybe, or come to Poland and we'll meet one day, okay? Have a nice evening. It was really nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. See
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See
I
you.
hope.
See you. Bye.
I hope the best.